Hello there, welcome to Friday's Granada Report. We're live across the northwest.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Here's what's coming up on tonight's programme.
Years of violence and control. We hear from the domestic abuse survivor who's waived her right to anonymity to encourage others to seek help.
I was portraying on the outside that everything was okay because it's embarrassing. I was embarrassed, I was ashamed, and I didn't know what to do.
The family reunited with their dad's memorial after it washed out to sea.
Warrington Wolves honour a local legend ahead of their first match of the season.
Swapping the Dales for the dirt track, we catch up with the Emmerdale star who's taking on the Arena Cross World Tour.
And bottoms up, it's the weekend, but will the weather be the toast of the town? Stay with us for all the details.
Yes, so please stay with us for all of that. But first tonight, a mother who was exposed to years of violent abuse at the hands of her partner has bravely shared her story to encourage others to come forward. Hannah Mellor lived in constant fear, feeling trapped as her abuser subjected her to unspeakable levels of violence and control. And Hannah's experience isn't an isolated one.
No, that's right. 1 in 7 men will experience domestic abuse in their lifetime. This number rises to 1 in 4 for women.
Across the country, police forces receive domestic abuse-related calls every 30 seconds.
Last year in Greater Manchester alone, more than 20,000 individuals were arrested for domestic abuse-related offences. That's almost a third of all our arrests made by the police.
Well, thanks to Hannah's bravery and resilience, her abuser will spend 18 years in prison. She's been speaking to Tim Scott, and a warning that this report contains graphic images and descriptions of abuse.
No, I haven't got no weed on me, no, bro.
A violent coward and narcissist who subjected his partner to over 2 years of horrifying physical and emotional abuse. But thanks to her bravery in coming forward, Ben Fitton is now behind bars.
I was portraying on the outside that everything was okay because it's embarrassing. I was embarrassed, I was ashamed, and I didn't know what to do.
Single mum Hannah's relationship with Fitton started well, but soon he'd turned into a jealous control freak.
If I'd showered and I'd shaved anywhere, it meant that I was going to be cheating on him, or that I had cheated on him, because why would I need to shower? Because he didn't care.
Hannah became Fitton's punch bag. She was hospitalised after he rugby tackled her to the ground, cutting her knee to the bone. He would insult and belittle her with text messages, saying she deserved to be raped, and she was raped, Fitton threatening violence when she refused his advances.
He said, well, that's fine. If you're not doing it, I'm going to get the kettle, I'm going to pour boiling water over your face and I'll disfigure you for life. So I did what he said.
It was only when Fitton threatened her son that Hannah went to the police. In interviews, he continued to deny any wrongdoing.
And then she sends you a picture of her injured kneecap with the bone on show.
Yeah. She's trying to make out like that I've done it, and she knows I haven't.
But the jury at Fitton's trial saw through his lies and he was sentenced to 18 years in jail. Hannah is now urging anyone in an abusive relationship to come forward.
I know that there's a lot of people that say that not all police officers are good, or give them a chance. Let them prove to you that they are interested and they do want to help you.
If somebody comes forward, if they in that moment they feel now ready to come forward and report what's been happening to them, they will be believed, and that will be we'll do everything we can to expose the truth of what's gone on.
Hannah says she can now look forward to the rest of her life, and GMP have put special measures in place to support those like Hannah who are seeking to escape from domestic abuse. Tim Scott, ITV News, Manchester.
Such a brave move as well for Hannah to speak out. We thank her for that. In recent weeks on Granada Reports, we've covered several domestic abuse stories and heard such strong testimonies from families who've lost loved ones and from survivors of domestic violence.
Well, earlier we spoke to Jill Smallwood from the charity Fort Alice, and I began by asking her if we're seeing a rise in domestic abuse or whether people are just more confident in coming forward.
I think people are feeling more confident. I think there's an acceptance that it's okay to speak out. And I think for us now, we're seeing more people come forward because there's more publicity. We're talking about domestic abuse, and that's critical in getting people to come forwards.
We know, sadly, obviously, these aren't isolated incidents. This is happening right across the region. What signs should people be looking out for?
The signs that really we should be all looking out for is where we see people maybe go into a relationship, we see people start to withdraw from the social circles that they're in, we start to see aspects of control. Sometimes people's money becomes very difficult, so they don't basically have anything to spend. So they start to withdraw from what we would consider normal groups of friendships. And that can be men and women.
And if someone's watching this and they think, that situation is so similar to me, or, I'm worried about my daughter or my son, what should they do? Where can they go for that help?
There's lots of things that we can do, and I think one of the things, Clare's Law is very useful because Clare's Law enables people to see if anybody has got a record of domestic abuse. There's lots of domestic abuse agencies out there that I would always strongly recommend that people contact so that they can get the guidance and the right kind of help, because there's so many risk factors that sit around domestic abuse. So the right agency is imperative for people to contact for advice.
You mentioned that this affects men as well as women. Last night we heard the heartbreaking story of Casey, what happened to him. What help is out there for men?
There's a lot more help out there for men. We are Survivors in Manchester, works with male victims, but as Fort Alice, we work with male victims. So the help is out there for male victims. It's just the point of coming forwards can be very difficult for some males, and it's just encouraging men to come forwards more.
And I guess it's so difficult for all victims, isn't it? All survivors. What would you say to anyone in being confident enough to take that first step and reach out for help?
I would always say your life is more important than being controlled and coerced. To come forwards for that help is critical, because actually you might not survive if you stay in an abusive relationship.
All right, Jill, thank you very much for coming in.
Some really great advice there from Jill.
Yeah, really important. And if you've been affected by anything we've discussed on tonight's programme, or if you want more information on the support that's available, you can find it now on our website, itv.com/Granada.
Well, let's take a look at some more of tonight's other main stories now. And the Gorton and Denton MP, Andrew Gwynn, is being investigated by Parliament Standards Watchdog. He was sacked as a minister and suspended from the Labour Party earlier this month over offensive messages sent in a WhatsApp group. Mr Gwynn, who now sits as an independent, is being investigated for actions causing significant damage to the reputation of the House as a whole or of its members generally.
The boyfriend of murdered Ashley Dale has been jailed for drug trafficking. Lee Harrison was sentenced to 5 years for conspiracy to supply Class A drugs. Ashley Dale was shot in her own home in 2022 following a feud between her attackers and her boyfriend.
An inquest being told that an official report into the death of a newborn girl who suffered a brain injury found delayed and missed opportunities to help her. Ida Locke died days after being born at the Royal Lancaster Infirmary in 2019. A coroner heard independent investigators found staff didn't act in a timely manner when Ida showed signs of distress in labour. Her heart rate wasn't recorded on a monitoring system for 15 minutes, and calling in more senior medics wasn't done immediately. The report also added that the first resuscitation attempt after Ida was delivered didn't give her adequate oxygen.
The police watchdog has launched an investigation after a man died following his arrest by Border Force officers at Manchester Airport. The 27-year-old was stopped and arrested by officers for displaying unusual behaviour on Wednesday.
Firefighters are being asked to take part in a new study by the University of Central Lancashire, looking at the impact the job has on their mental health. The Fire Brigade Union has commissioned the research. They say the physical and emotional demands of the job need to be assessed so that members get the support they need.
You're watching Granada Reports, and here's Lucrezia now with details of what's coming up on the ITV Evening News at 6:30.
Coming up, Benjamin Netanyahu vows revenge, saying Hamas has violated their ceasefire deal with Israel. It's after the Israeli military claimed one of the 4 bodies returned by Hamas yesterday was not that of mother Shiri Bibas. A woman who claims to be Madeleine McCann appears in court on stalking charges. And children blind from birth get their vision back after gene therapy in the UK. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Well, next tonight, and anyone who's lost a loved one knows how precious memorials are as a way to honour those who've passed away.
Well, for one family from Warrington, when their memorial bench in Anglesey washed away, they thought they'd never see it again.
But somehow a plaque from that bench has turned up more than 80 miles away in Cumbria, and today they've been reunited with it. Katie Templeton Knight has more.
Reunited at last. Helen Wharton and her mum Christine from Warrington are here to bring what's left of this bench home. It was part of a memorial on a cliff top in Anglesey, the Welsh island their dad and husband Bill had once loved. But as storms battered the Welsh coastline, it was washed away, turning up weeks later on a beach in Cumbria.
It's quite emotional because of the day that it's landed on. Obviously, it's 7 years today that we lost my dad. So with it being on his anniversary, it's kind of surreal really that it's ended up today that we've come back and seen it. And it just amazed really that it's landed here.
The wooden plaque had travelled from Anglesey off the northwest coast of Wales, then around 80 miles across the Irish Sea, until it washed up on Drigg Beach, where it was found by a dog walker.
I'm just happy that this is it's a lovely story to have. It's superb.
This reunion wouldn't have been possible if Megan O'Gorman from Wasdale hadn't turned detective. After the plaque was found on the Cumbrian shoreline, Megan scoured the internet in the hopes of finding Bill's family.
I'm just glad that it was a Bill Babcock rather than a John Smith, and made the search quite a bit easier because there's not that many people out there with the surname Babcock. I thought, right, go onto Facebook, find the people who it belonged to. So to be able to get that piece back to them is just fantastic.
And on a particularly wet and windy day, the shock of that all-important Facebook message is still with them.
My heart turned actually when I saw it originally, when Megan found it, and I thought, goodness me, how has this landed in Cumbria? And then as the story unfolded, we just enjoyed talking to the people in Cumbria who were involved, and we decided we'd come and get it.
The remains of the bench will be going home to Warrington, where it will be used for a new memorial. The plaque reads, "For me, it has to be the sea," taken from a poem written by Bill, a fitting tribute for one last epic adventure. Katie Templeton Knight, ITV News, Drigg in Cumbria.
I mean, it's just remarkable, isn't it?
Incredible story, and quite bracing on the coast today as well. As you
I know
can see.
how it came out in that condition after a dip in the Irish Sea, I don't know.
Brilliant. All right, next on to sport, and Warrington Wolves are getting set for their first home match of the season against Catalan's Dragons.
Yeah, Chris Hall is live pitch side for us, but Chris, there have been some changes at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, haven't there, tonight?
Yes, for the last 21 years, Warrington fans have known this place as the Halliwell-Jones Stadium, but tonight all that changes as it gets renamed the Luke Littler Stadium in honour, of course, of Warrington's World Darts Champion. This comes on the night that Warrington take on Catalan Dragons in the first home game of the new Super League season, and with me is Warrington's Chief Executive, Carl Fitzpatrick. Carl, just tell me, how proud is Warrington of Luke Littler?
Absolutely super proud. There's not many times an athlete gets a stadium named after him, and we're really proud. It gives the town and the community a real opportunity to come out and celebrate one of Warrington's favourite sons. Actually, in 2023, he actually was on the pitch previously participating in the Hoover Half-Time Challenge, where he had to throw rugby balls for appliances. All I can say is better at throwing the darts than rugby balls. But Luke's been a season ticket holder for many years, and actually it was at our game on Sunday, round 1 at Huddersfield. So he's a genuine supporter, and we're really proud that we can give this platform this opportunity to celebrate one of our favourite and most loved sons of Warrington.
And what's going to happen? Is he going to come out and bring the World Championship trophy out onto the pitch?
Yeah, there's so many activations going on tonight. We've got Elvis performing earlier on, but he's going to lead the teams out. He's going to parade the pitch around at half-time. And we've actually got 5,000 Luke Littler heads in the stadium, so keep an eye for him.
A huge night for Warrington as well. First home game of the season. How important is it for this club to get off to a flyer at home?
Absolutely. We had a hard-fought win against Huddersfield last week, but we've got a fantastic crowd that's come in to obviously to acknowledge Luke, but also to get right behind the team. I thought last season we made some fantastic strides under our coach Sam Burgess. We just got picked in the playoffs and we got to the Challenge Cup final, and hopefully we can go a few steps further this season. So it's really exciting. There's so much going on tonight, and obviously all in the name of Luke Littler.
And just finally, you're off to Vegas as well next week for the Super League game against Wigan Warriors. Huge moment for the sport, this one.
Incredible. Arguably the biggest game in Super League's history. Now, the NRL went there last year and they spoke about the halo effect when they came back, and I think we've seen the halo effect this year in Super League. Round 1, record attendances, record digital engagement, because this game has been promoted heavily since July last year. So we're really proud to be the first Super League club alongside Wigan to be playing in Vegas.
It's going to be great. Carl, good luck tonight. Thanks for joining us. And let's turn to football now, because Liverpool and Manchester United have discovered who stands between them and a place in a European quarter-final. Liverpool have been drawn against Paris Saint-Germain in the last 16 of the Champions League. The winners will go on to face either Aston Villa or Bruges. As for United in the Europa League, they have been drawn against Real Sociedad. The winners will face either FCSB or Lyon in the last 8. Well, both of those clubs have major Northwest derbies to come this weekend.
The opponent is different, the strength of the opponent is different, and try to take a good game and the points that we need to stay up there to qualify for next season, where we were the last Wednesday.
What you expect is what everybody expects if you go to the Etihad if you play against City. Yeah, you have to suffer as well. And work really hard to keep them away from your goal, because they are so good in ball possession. But yeah, they face a strong team as well that haven't lost for 22 games now.
Well, at the other end of the table, Everton host Manchester United for the last time at Goodison Park, and they'll fancy their chances too. They've won 4 out of the 6 games since David Moyes returned to their club.
Feel improvement in the team, but then you have some games that you think that are more difficult, and you feel that we can play, we can create situations. That is a good thing, but I think in this moment you can see, when you watch the games, you can see more problems than solutions.
I had to find a way of fighting back from the disappointment of losing my job at Manchester United, and finding ways how I could get myself back to a good level. And we've done that at West Ham, won a trophy at West Ham. So now I'm back at Everton. First jobs to do what I had to do at West Ham was make sure that we stay as a Premier League club, and then hopefully find our way to start getting closer to European football and see where we can go from there.
Getting that winning feeling. FOW, sponsor of the Granada Sport Report.
And that's it from the newly renamed Luke Littler Stadium. We should point out this is just for tonight. If Luke wants to make it a more permanent arrangement, well, he just needs to win more World Championships, doesn't he?
Only a matter of time,
Yeah,
sure.
I'm sure he can. Chris, thank you very much. Just imagine having a stadium named after yourself.
You know you've made it.
Absolutely.
Well, finally tonight, Emmerdale star Kelvin Fletcher may be used to getting covered in mud when working on his farm, but this weekend he's going to face a dirt of a very different kind.
Yeah, he's swapping his tractor for a motorbike and faces daredevil stunts, obstacles and even lasers as he races in the Arena Cross World Tour. Let's take a quick look at what's in store for him.
Looks absolutely terrifying. Yeah. Well, the event takes place tomorrow evening at the AO Arena, and Tasha Kacheri headed down there a little earlier to catch up with Kevin and see how he feels ahead of his big race.
Well, we're just at the start line for Arena Cross. Now, usually here you'd see the likes of Taylor Swift, Beyonce, but this weekend it's been transformed to this. Look at it, with 3,500 tonnes of dirt. Now, when you talk about Arena Cross, it's a little bit different from anything else you've seen before. What it is you've got loads of amazing tricks going on, and you've also got loads of races. Now, one of the people that will be racing this weekend is Jake Preston. Hi, Jake.
Hi.
Now, Jake, you have a team that's in Arena Cross at the moment as well, but you're also a rider. What's it like being a manager and a rider at the same time?
Yeah, this has been the first year doing the team and riding, so yeah, it's been set its challenges, but no, I've enjoyed it so far. It's been different on and off the track, so can't complain.
And you've got a little boy who's also taking part. How young are you starting them?
Yeah, Jesse's going to race my little boy. So yeah, he's going to race on Saturday night. So yeah, he's looking forward to it, and it's going to be a full family affair.
Thanks so much, Jake. Now, it's not just Jake that's taking part. There's also celebrities. You might know one of them from, Emmerdale. Hi, Kelvin.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Now, Kelvin, you've got loads of strings to your bow. You are an actor. You've done a bit of dancing. But, what are you doing here?
Well, good question, actually. I'm certainly not at the level of somebody like Jake here, but I'm a massive fan of Arena Cross. It's a fantastic night. If you've never been, you have to come. It's fantastic. Great for kids, a great spectacle, so exciting. And I'm going to be, like I said, the comedic value. I'm going to be riding around on the smaller bikes with some other celebrities, with a race albeit, so I will try and win. But I'll do my best. I'm a fan of the sport, and I'm here just to have a good time.
Thank you so much. Now, you might be wondering, whose idea was this? This is a bit crazy. Mr. Bates, hi.
Hi.
What were you thinking when you decided to do this?
Well, I was one of those idiots that race motocross bikes, and it's not a new idea putting the sport indoors, but it's almost a new idea to make it a show, and that's what we do. So it's full of pyrotechnics and DJ music and loads of stunts and tricks and everything. So that is a new idea. So that's and it's working.
Thank you so much. Now, this weekend at the AO Arena, it'll be here. I'm sure it'll be fun for all the family. But remember, this may not be something you want to do at home.
No, quite. Thanks, Tasha.
Don't we go up those hills, Andy?
No, absolutely not. Right, onto the weather. There's a yellow warning for wind this weekend. Here's Emma with the details.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Hello there, hope you're having a good evening. The weekend is here, yes it is, and tomorrow is definitely the better day of the two and the best day to get out and about. It's rather wet and windy on Sunday, and there's a weather warning in force. Of course there is. It runs from 6 in the morning until 6 at night and covers the whole of our patch, including the Isle of Man. In fact, the Isle of Man is going to come in for a bit of a battering, I'm afraid, over the next few days. It's been so windy there today, gusts of 60, 70 miles an hour, and we're expecting the same on Sunday, and particularly through the Irish Sea and at the north of England coast there, it is going to be very windy, blustery, gusty right the way through, and up to 70-mile-an-hour gusts in exposed spots as well, with some heavy persistent rain. Joy. Rewinding though to the next few hours, it's looking drier overnight than it was today. Still quite cloudy though. We're going to be frost-free with temperatures remaining mild, 1 or 2 low-lying mist or fog patches, and those winds easing down but still a little bit lively across the Isle of Man. Into tomorrow then, the sun's up about 7:15 in the morning, sets at 5:34 in the afternoon. It might be a bit of a grey start to the day, but soon the sunshine gets to nibble away from the west at the cloud and it brightens up considerably. Lighter winds than today, much drier as well. 1 or 2 glancing showers, could be a bit blustery around those showers too, and you can see that temperatures are a bit on the slide. 11 or 12 Celsius, still a few degrees above average but down on the last couple of days. And then look what's coming on Sunday. It's actually going to be a little bit chillier on Saturday night into Sunday, but then in comes this system and we're expecting it to be very wet, very windy, like I say, with some blustery showers into the start of the new week, maybe some hail and thunder too. That's it. Bye-bye.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thanks, Emma. Gosh, it's looking wet and wild. Just don't go out this weekend.
Absolutely. Stay safe, but do have a lovely weekend. Thank you for watching. See you next week.
Bye-bye.